Hey everybody, this is Free China Pod episode 19. I believe in the episode I say it is 18, but I've had so many episodes recently, I've been a little confused. So yeah, pardon that and all the moving and things like that. But this week we have Aaron Scarborough on, comedian and famous singer-songwriter apparently from Kansas City, Missouri, and it's just really great to have him on the podcast. Right now you're hearing in the background a little bit of his band, Den Mothers, and if you stick around to the end of the podcast, I got approval from the master himself to give you guys a little free taste. And if you want more, make sure to check him out on all the socials. I believe he's on as Aaron Scarborough for everything. I'll try to link it in the descriptions. But definitely check out Den Mothers. And if you're not sure, sometimes there's multiples. You can check Den Mothers Easter. So hope you guys enjoy the pod this week. And don't forget to stick around for that nice piece of music at the end. I've really been digging this band lately. We discussed music a little bit in this podcast, and I haven't been listening to a lot lately, but this is one that I've been throwing on every once in a while when I do feel the mood to kick back, jam out a little bit, or even relax, and definitely also to get a little laugh because they're real fun. But yeah, we appreciate you guys stopping by, so give her a listen here.
Hey.
All right, yo everybody, we got special guest Aaron Scarborough, world famous comedian, on the pod today for episode, I think this is 18. I'm kind of lost track. But welcome, Aaron. How's it feel to be on the greatest podcast in the world?
Well, JD, glad to be here. I was curious. Does it mean does free China? Does that mean like doesn't cost anything free? Like China for free, or is that let's free China?
Well, because we live in Taiwan, which is the free China, not the authoritarian China. So I don't exactly remember how we came up with the name. But yeah, part of it is also because there's a couple newspapers out called the South China Post and all these China Post things. So we just decided to name ours the Free China Post since we're in Taiwan. Yeah, that's basically the idea. But it is also free. I mean, we don't charge for any of our content, so there's that too.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess give everyone a brief introduction to who you are. Who is the man behind the myth of Aaron Scarborough?
Well, let's just call it what it is, man. I mean, we grew up 30 minutes away from each other. I don't know. I know that you're from Texas or something, but
Yeah.
I've known you since I was a senior in high school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think it was just kind of I like tight pants, you like tight pants,
Yeah, exactly. We both kind of listened to music that wasn't pop country or AC/DC, so we were outcasts.
Yeah, I think that was basically.
We both kind of had. I mean, you were a pretty good skateboarder, so you were my idol because I could barely do a kickflip.
Yeah, no, I was one of the best in the county.
Maybe the best.
Yeah, you're right.
Don't sell yourself short, man.
Well, I don't. It sounds better when you say things like that.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think them.
Well, I was listening because I heard I don't know if it was your first time on a podcast, but I listened to you on what was it? They Don't Bite?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the podcast you're on?
That was
yeah. So is this your second go round?
This is my second, yeah, and I want to do it.
Well,
more this
Yeah,
year.
you're welcome to be like a weekly contributor if you really want to. We we need guests, and I'm pretty much always down to record. So, but yeah, that was a pretty good one. I guess I would say anyone that didn't listen to that, I would say go out and listen to that. It's pretty informative podcast about Aaron's upbringing. That one's he kind of does his is kind of a religious bent. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a Christian-based podcast that I was on, um, and most of the discussions I think are supposed to have to do with that.
Okay. Yeah, you still like basically mostly talked about. Well, I guess you talked a lot about life in the small town religious scene, and then yeah, I guess what else do you guys talk about? Oh, then you talked a lot about dating.
Yeah, yeah, those are basically the only two things I know about.
Well, you're a world famous comedian too, so you know about the comedy life.
Well, yeah, I guess again, you're right. Not my words, but yeah, I
You know, I'm just yeah. I just gotta speak the truth. That's my job as a host. Is I gotta talk about what you're good at. Okay, so I guess to talk about your comedy, because yeah, so we grew up together, small town USA, the middle of nowhere. Uh, I mean, we there was how many people lived in your town? Like 1,000.
No, it was actually 600 when I left, and
Oh,
like I think some of them have died since then. So it's like
yeah, and probably very few have been born, and no one's gonna move there. So
no one moves there. No, like ever since the railroad like decided to go its way, it's Fairfax has been on its way out. We don't even have a grocery store anymore.
oh
Uh,
really?
no, and all right, we had to do 8-man football. Uh,
Oh yeah.
which we don't even I don't even think they have enough people for that now, so they had to combine with Tarkio,
Oh
Missouri.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I forgot about that. My mom's a teacher at Tarkio. She teaches there now. But and I mean, the town I lived in for most of high school didn't even have a school. Big Lake is like 150 people on a good day.
yeah, yeah, Big Lake. I don't know. Have you watched by chance have you watched that Netflix show Ozark or Ozarks or whatever?
I've heard good things about it, but I haven't got to watching it yet. I've been watching Narcos lately, so
Oh, okay. I have not watched Narcos, but Ozark is weird because it's like I've been to the Ozarks, you know,
hmm
but it's weird to see what some, fancy pants Hollywood producer thinks it would be like to be there. Uh, and they get it
so
all.
this is not live action. It's like a scripted thing.
Yeah, yeah. It's got what's his name uh, from Arrested Development, Jason Bateman.
Oh, okay. Is it good? Or you say it's a misrepresentation of our people?
Yeah, I don't know. I felt a little bit appropriated. I don't
That's fair. I really don't like people appropriating redneck culture, you know. But what are you
Yeah,
gonna do? It's kind of a they like everyone likes to make fun of the yokels until they can make some money off of them.
yeah, no, um, absolutely. I I don't. Have you ever watched like Field of Dreams, where the it's I think it's just so ridiculous
Mm-hmm.
how in movies like especially I don't know like movies from that era when they have a farmer like how ridiculous it is like
Yeah.
Field of Dreams like he's just like out there like yeah I'm farming and I don't know he's just like out in the cornfield with a fucking shovel like
He's
you know
throwing a hay fork around. Just got his pitchfork, and he's just like, "Well, out here farming." It's like, where's your tractor, man?
yeah that would be like if I made a movie about space. Like I don't know. Either it needs to be like a comedy and just own the fact that you don't know anything and you're ignorant about it, or do your research.
Yeah, yeah. Go spend a week in one of those towns and learn what the people are like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the real problem here is education. I mean, we need to get some like, um, small town culture classes in our colleges. You know.
I don't know about that.
Of course, I'm joking. No, that's yeah. It's interesting though. It is interesting that like the, I mean I have good redneck friends, and I have a lot of people I know that are rednecks that I think are some of the dumbest people that I've ever met. Um, so they're just people like everyone else, but I have noticed that they're like the one group that is completely okay to just shit on 100 all the time by anybody, which I think is
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fine. Um,
Yeah, no one bats an eye when you shit on someone with a southern accent, even though they live in northern Missouri.
there is something to be said about that, but at the same time, they seem insignificant until they all go out and vote, you know, one year,
Yeah,
and then you got what we have now. Like,
yeah, that's right.
because if they, when they all get together, it can be dangerous.
Yeah, that's very true. They're they're very much a large voting bloc, even though it's all these small towns. I mean, you can probably throw some, not even just like farmers, but you can throw like West Virginia former coal miners and people in the Rust Belt that used to be low level factory workers into that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So yeah, it can be dangerous. You're right.
that's what Donald Trump did. He was just like, you know who you guys haven't been going after that I'm going to? Idiots.
That's right.
It worked.
You can, and they're some. I mean, a lot of them are easily manipulatable, and some of those people, to give them a little bit of credit, aren't idiots. They're just either uninformed or they're just so poor and they're so tired of people like Hillary Clinton who are just 100% the status quo that they'll just go for whatever kind of hope that they see.
Yeah. No, and yeah, it's not like only idiots voted for.
I mean, let's be fair, a lot of them are, but you know,
Well, yeah, yeah. Well, but like that's, and I think about this all the time. But like, there are some really smart people who back that guy, including like my
yeah.
parents, for example. They don't necessarily like back him or anything, but they definitely voted for him, and that they don't bat an
Mm-hmm.
eye, or it doesn't bother them at all that they did when they think about
Yeah. And your
But
your parents are not yokels. They're pretty pretty educated,
yeah,
probably solidly middle class people.
they're dentists.
Your mom's a dentist too?
She's a dental hygienist, but
Okay.
yeah,
It counts.
that's
Counts.
like half dentist.
It's yeah, it's at least 48% dentist. Maybe over 50, I don't know. I'm not into that. I'm not in the business, so I don't really know what the percentages would be.
Yeah.
Well, I would say why are you not a dentist then? Or your dad is also a falconer, correct?
Yeah, my dad is a falconer, and we can talk about that if you want. But to
Yeah,
answer your
always.
question,
Uh-huh.
I am not a dentist. Like, I'm not smart. Like,
Oh,
I don't.
I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, that's fine, but I do. I'm not.
Well, fair enough. I don't know. You studied graphic design in college?
For a minute, and then that was too hard. Um, so I switched to fine art. Um,
Oh, that's right. You got a fine arts degree, the most useful degree in America.
yeah, no, they should like it's fine for them to offer that as a major, but they should at least include classes for like how to survive working in a call center.
Yeah. How to live out of a cardboard box on Fifth Avenue.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're just you can make it if you major in art, you can make it, but you're not going to be doing art. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if I really know any arts majors that are doing art. I mean, I know like graphic design is kind of a form of art. I know a graphic designer friend that does graphic design, but he
Yeah.
basically has to hustle all his own freelance stuff. He can't really find a
Yeah.
job.
And even even photography, I think it's really hard to make it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, unless you're doing weddings or things like that.
Do you have a lot of those friends on Facebook who like are people who you know who got into photography late in life, and then they like take senior pictures for people. And my favorite thing about that is they put the big ass watermark
The
on it.
watermark, yeah.
Like like people are trying to steal other kids.
It's
Like
just like stealing some kid holding a football's picture.
yeah. uh,
I took this picture of Johnny in 12th grade.
yeah. I love that.
That's a good point. It's pretty because that's I mean that's the only way to make money with photography really is to do senior pictures or weddings. So
Yeah, I mean, unless you're there, there are other ways, but I think that
I mean if you were like a Nat Geo photographer or something, but it's I think doing like artistic photography is probably very difficult to make money.
oh yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I like photography. I bought a film camera, like a Soviet film camera, and I love taking pictures with that. But I have no doubts that I'll never make any money off of it. So it's just
Mm.
for fun.
Well, that's really kind of how you have to look at it, and that's how you that's how I look at comedy. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's not like a hobby by any means because I do it all the time, and yes, I want
Mm-hmm.
like it to be my career, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, I don't focus on like making money or something like that. Like I just want to
Yeah.
get good, you know?
Yeah.
I just want
You have to make sure you have this skill that would demand a sort of wage that could be livable.
yeah, and it's I mean, I think nowadays from the people I've talked to who have made a career out of it, you don't
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You got to get into like advertising, doing commercials, you know,
So you got to
just
sell out, is what you're saying.
acting gigs. I don't see it as that really, because I mean,
I'm just joking.
yeah,
But yeah, yeah, for sure.
yeah,
Okay, here's I wanted to ask you about this. I've always wondered ever since I like saw some little clips you posted or you talking about comedy and you're in KC now, right?
yeah.
So, how did you get into comedy? When did you decide I want to get up on stage and tell jokes and have people ridicule me as a
Uh, it's embarrassing.
part-time job?
So, I mean, it's really like it's nothing short of painful to talk about. Um, and you know, it's just so lame. Like I just, ugh. So I knew for a little while that I wanted to do it, um,
Mm-hmm.
to it, but rather than what I would recommend doing, you know, to other
Mm-hmm.
people, don't do what I did. Like you should go to comedy shows a lot before you actually try doing it, and just kind
Mm-hmm.
of see how it goes, see who fails and why they fail, and stuff like that. You know, so go to some open mics before you do it. But
Mm-hmm.
I, I don't know. I just I came up with 5 minutes of material. I told all my friends from work like I was gonna go to my first open mic. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I knew, and I brought like 15 people. Um,
Oh.
you know, and it was really. I mean, that's a really lame way to go about it. But I don't. In hindsight, I don't know that I would have had the courage to do it if I didn't do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It just it takes so long. Like I did that, and you know, I had what I thought was a good set. I was like, man, yeah, I can do this. I'm good. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Proceeded to go to open mics after that, consistently, and I ate shit for 6 months straight.
Oh,
Like just
yeah.
bomb after bomb. I just bombed. Um, and I remember like I would occasionally have a set where I was like, okay, yeah, I did like great up there. And then
Mm-hmm.
like one of my comedian friends would come up to me afterwards and they would be like, dude, don't worry about it. It was a tough room. You know? So
It's the worst when you're so sure that you knocked it out of the park, and then someone's like, "That's okay, bud. You'll get it next time." And you're like, "Ah, shit."
yeah. Sorry, man, it was
It's
weird.
like worse than bombing, because you're like, if you bomb, you're like, well, yeah, I fucked up. All right, I'll make it better next time. But when you think you killed it and someone else has to let you know that actually not so much.
Yeah.
That's what would keep me away from doing anything like that. I don't. That sounds like so much. Like we do this, and I mean, people could ridicule us for this, but I don't have to see them face to face afterwards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, never when I'm recording a podcast does someone pop up in my window and go, "You fucking suck."
Yeah. Well,
Speaking of, have you ever been heckled?
oh, of course. Yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
really?
um so there used to be this comedy club in Kansas City called Stanford's,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, it still has this reputation even though it's closed. And both
Mm-hmm.
the owners have died, but I got in on Stanford's for like the last like 6 months of its existence,
Mm-hmm.
and um, I dealt with a lot of sketchy shit there. But you asked about getting heckled. I
Mm-hmm.
remember that's where I dealt with my first bridal party at a late show. You know,
Yeah.
so they're all hammered. I don't know whose idea it was to like go to a comedy show.
Uh-huh.
Like it was like a weird occasion to go to a comedy show, but
Yeah.
that's like in comedy that's kind of a um just a regular like nightmare. People always talk about it like, oh god, there's a bridal party because they didn't want to listen. They had those penis straws and stuff. Just,
Yeah.
it's bad,
They
and
just
I
they
did.
just want to talk through your set because they're hammered.
Yeah, yeah. And I dealt with another one like a month ago that was even worse. Um, but yeah, like you get heckled a lot, and
Yeah.
some people um just want the show to be about them, and
Mm-hmm.
they want to. I don't know. I've definitely been in that. I'm not the type. You're not gonna see any viral videos of like me like comedian destroys racist. I'm not.
Yeah.
That's that's not gonna happen. I don't have. I'm not very quick. I'm like really slow, and I'm not that smart to begin with. Uh, and I can't I can't do that. I'm the same way in real life too. If you like roast me, I'm just like I don't. If you give me a week, I can probably have a comeback. But like
Yeah. That's all right though. That's your personality. I don't know. Sometimes you can have some good clapbacks, but you're pretty understated in the way that you do it. So it's not. Yeah, you won't. You're not the kind of person who would like. At least you wouldn't strike me as a person who would just like go off and like just lay into someone. You'd probably make some snide comment that would get a laugh. I could see you doing that.
I'm learning to kind of do that, but it's not it's not something that I can just turn on all the time. I'm
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. It's probably a skill like anything else. You just have to keep getting heckled until you
Hmm.
until you either learn how to deal with it or you just snap and kill someone in the audience. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm looking forward to that day if it comes.
Yeah, you don't strike me as that kind of person either. You're pretty cool, pretty chill guy.
Yeah.
But, all right, so how long have you been doing comedy now? A few years now, yeah.
Um, it'll be coming up on now. I so like over a year and a half, but
Okay.
Yeah, around there.
And so, what do you do for your day job?
I'm a sales rep in a call center.
Oh, so that was your call center comment from earlier.
mm,
So how is that?
it's fine. I really like if there's anything that I'm gonna do to, pay my rent,
Mm-hmm.
it's great. It's a great situation, compared to what other guys have to do. A lot of people
Mm-hmm.
in comedy try to do like the bartending thing, and that just doesn't,
Oh yeah.
you know, like you can't. You gotta have your nights free,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
go up every night. So, luckily, I have the type of job where I can just work regular hours during the day.
Mm-hmm.
Then, I leave, and when I leave work, I'm done. I don't
Yeah.
worry about anything, and I'm always free at night.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Yeah. I was gonna say with the bartending thing, it seems like that's also probably not good either because you're probably getting drunk and then you're waking up late the next day or not. You're not maximizing your time with that sort of gig.
Yeah, no, but and me included, like most comics, like after a show, will drink and stay up late. Like I
Yeah.
don't know. Some of my
I
friends
mean,
drive
and
Uber to, again.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I've heard Uber is a pretty bum way to make money. I heard they when it first came out, it was making a lot of money, but they kind of try to cut down the money you make now.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's all about being smart about when and where you drive. But
Yeah, that's probably true. There's probably a way to do it. Are you're driving again, right? I think I saw a video of you driving or
I drove for the first time, and for anyone, if anyone listens to this, uh,
uh-huh.
I hadn't driven for like 2.5 years, um, until like a week or two ago, at Christmas. And JD, when I did drive again,
Uh-huh.
amazing because I wasn't really afraid of it anymore. And I was almost like, when I drove, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Like, I don't have to like help the driver because I'm the worst backseat driver, and
Yeah.
it's not gonna change. Like, I, in my mind, I have saved dozens and dozens of lives with my help from the passenger seat.
I have no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you you were originally just you just felt too nervous to drive or too you were afraid you were gonna hurt someone or something.
Um, yeah, so I've always had, bad anxiety. I'm also like a really paranoid person,
Mm-hmm.
and that was amplified by driving and rush hour traffic and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
I had an experience, right before I quit driving where I came very, very close to running over a kid. Uh, and, I was in a situation where I didn't really have to drive, so I got rid of my car and just quit for a couple of years.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, yeah, you say you can walk to work, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty convenient. So I could understand that. I think if I would probably always have a scooter here because I haven't driven a car in since the last time I was in the States. We just all drive motorcycles or scooters here, but yeah,
Okay.
I could see how that would be frightening,
Yeah.
especially in KC traffic. That's not something I want to deal with.
Yeah. You know, I've seen accidents happen, and I saw, I saw a woman, a coworker of mine, uh,
Hmm.
get hit by a car right outside of work,
Oh,
and it's funny because she gets hit and then kind of like bounces over the hood, lands on the pavement.
oh,
Uh,
she got hit. She got hit like her body got hit by a car.
yeah,
Oh my god.
and I'm standing outside with some people, and I couldn't believe it. We run out to see what's going on, and it was just this old lady with those, those sunglasses that that cover the whole head. You know, what a
Oh yeah, yeah, like a visor because you have cataracts or something.
so yeah. So we're helping the lady who got hit, and the old lady who's driving rolls down her window and says, "Do I need to stick around for anything?"
What?
Yeah,
Like maybe? Yeah, I think that might be a good idea.
yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And I didn't.
Maybe that's just so
I
routine for her that she's like, I've done this so many times. I don't need to worry about this.
Yeah, I I don't know. I feel like drunk driving gets such a, a bad rap when like really like the cutoff should be like 60. I think just take their cars away.
Yeah, I would say at least they need to do something like for instance, when you first get your license, you have to like go get it renewed every so often. So I think once you hit maybe 50, 60 or so, you should have to go in every year or 2 years and do some sort of checkup. Like okay, now you gotta try to parallel park again.
Yeah.
Because yeah, there's some real bad old drivers here too, and I have been meaning to get a helmet cam so I can show people what it's like to drive here. Because I mean, there's probably similar amounts of accidents to when I lived in Columbia, Missouri.
Mhm.
Because the problem there was too many young kids driving and texting, and like all these kids that were in the city for college that had like had no business being on the road, and so I saw an accident like every day there. But the accidents out here are scarier because half the time you're on a scooter, so if you get hit, it's not pretty.
Yeah.
Or even if it's not another car, like I broke my collarbone in 3 places because I hit a dog.
Oh my gosh, when did that happen?
That was like the first year I was here, like at the end of my maybe I was probably here 6 or 8 months, and I
Hmm.
was driving home from work. And for anyone that doesn't know the story, I was driving home from work. I was not really driving that fast. I was probably doing 60 kilometers an hour, so 35, 40 miles an hour. And
Okay.
there was a loud scooter in front of me, and I think it scared the dog, and it jumped out from between two cars, and I had slammed on the brakes, and
Ugh.
I didn't have time. And so I hit the dog and went over the handlebars and like got up, and I was like, oh my god. And like my adrenaline's pumping, so I was like, oh, all right, I'm okay. How am I okay? Like I slid, like my backpack was all torn up. So I was lucky that I had a backpack on because I probably would have hurt my spine. I like got up. I was like, oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. Nothing hurts. Like I can't feel any pain. And I go to take my helmet off, and I realize my right arm only comes about up to my chin. And I was like, why will my arm not raise up? And so I'm patting myself down, like, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? And then I get to my collarbone, and it's just sticking out, like not through the skin, but it's like poked out, like I can see through my hoodie. And I was like, oh, that's gonna be a problem. Like, so I went to the side of the road, and like all these Taiwanese people came over. They're like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I was like, no, not okay. And I asked them in Chinese to like call an ambulance and like help me to get my motorcycle out of the road. And some nurse comes over and is speaking to me like 100 miles an hour in Chinese, asking me all these questions. Are you okay? Is this okay? Does this hurt? Blah blah blah. And I started getting really dizzy, and I felt like I was gonna pass out. And I was like, I'm okay. I'm okay. Just I'm gonna wait for the ambulance. It was crazy. And then I had to have surgery to put it all together again, and it was quite an experience.
Yeah. I had no idea you had gone through that. I mean,
Yeah, it was pretty quick. I mean, once I got the surgery, I was fine. I mean, I still have a metal plate in my collarbone, but other than that, like I don't really have any discomfort from it. So it was an experience, I guess.
yeah.
It makes me a lot more scared when I see dogs on the side of the road, though. I always slow way down now.
Yeah. Well, I won't even. I mean, nowadays we've got these like scooter share things, like Lime and
Hmm.
Bird scooters here, and I won't set foot on one of those. That just seems terrifying to me. But I'm
Those do seem scary.
I'm a big ninny.
Which is so funny because like we talked about a little bit earlier. You were the skateboard king of our area, so you seem like the daredevil.
Yeah, I don't know. So if I don't know. I think if next time you come back to the States, if you visit, and I hope you do, um,
Hmm.
there's a lot that's different about me. I feel like since my younger days, like I was driving back then, I was like thin and kind of athletic, and I was a skateboarder. And
Hmm.
since then, I've gone through some kind of stupid like Howard Hughes transformation into just like a I don't know, like a paranoid freak. And here's an example, like a recent example. Like this summer, back when I was drinking a lot, uh,
Uh-huh.
I had a night where I think I'd been to a mic, had a
Hmm.
bad set. Like I got shit faced afterwards, and I wound up at a bar and ran into a friend, and he had a friend of his with him, and she was also drunk. Okay,
Hmm.
um, but she started, we started kind of flirting. One thing led to another. We go back to my place, and like I made out with her.
Uh-huh.
Now during that time, I looked her up on Facebook and saw that she had a
Hmm.
boyfriend.
Oh.
Uh, and I confronted her about it, and
Uh-huh.
she was just like, ah, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. And in that, because I was inebriated, I didn't care too much.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and she just Ubered home. And then, but the next day I woke up with a hangover, and then I spent all day at work just worrying about it. And I
Uh-huh.
looking her up again on Facebook, and she had blocked me. Um,
What?
so here's where like the paranoia like really hits. When I got home from work that day, my roommate was not at the house, and
Uh-huh.
what JD, this is what my brain, the conclusion that I came to, and I actually believed it in the moment. I thought her number one, her boyfriend is absolutely in the mafia. Uh, I'm sure of it, and
Yeah.
and I thought that they had come to my apartment for me, and saw my roommate kind of look kind of similar, and I thought that they had taken him in my place. Um, and then eventually my roommate got home, and I was like, okay, so neither of us were here when when the mafia came by, but like that's how crazy I am, and I think of these scenarios all the time.
Yeah. I share that, maybe not to that degree, but I'm also a little bit neurotic when I'm not sure what the outcome of something is going to be. I'll just worry about it, and I'll be like, yeah, I'll come to some quite outlandish conclusions like that. So I feel your pain to a degree, and it's not a it's not always a good way to live.
No, it's no way to live. It's terrible.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. We're always prepared at least. And you've watched enough gangster movies. You should know how to handle the mafia.
I've watched enough gangster movies that I know I can't handle the mafia. No one can. They're
That's
apparently
right.
on my ass. They're no, they're just better at hiding now.
They're just tailing you. They're playing the long game.
Yeah, I think about the mafia. I'm so scared of the mafia. I I think about that all the time, especially like sober thoughts now that I've quit drinking. Like
Uh,
I, there's so much of my 20s that I don't remember, that like if they did show up and they were like, you did this, and I would just be like, I don't know. Like,
yeah.
I'll,
I don't recall that, but yeah, it sounds like something I might do.
yeah, I'll get in the trunk. Just, uh,
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that is. I mean, I. It's funny because out here, I've definitely met some. I guess we would call them gangsters, but they're basically like a little mafia, um, out
Hmm.
here, and it's. I don't know. They're in Taiwan, especially to foreigners. I know like a lot of Taiwanese people don't like them because obviously they're criminals. They do bad stuff. Um, but it is kind of mafia like they usually don't hurt innocent people, like they don't fight them at least unless you know make them lose face. um, but they're always tatted up and like chewing betel nut. I don't know if you know. I don't think you probably know what that is, but
Well,
betel
nuts.
nut is like this.
Isn't that
Huh?
a Tim Burton movie?
No, it's not Beetlejuice, just betel nut.
Ah, okay.
They call, they call it Taiwanese chewing gum. A lot of these old timers and like taxi drivers chew it. It's basically like a stimulant.
Uh-huh.
It's a natural nut, but a lot of times they cut it open and put a bunch of stuff in it, and it turns your teeth red. It's like a red juice. So you see these people looking like zombies, just like with their red teeth. Just they spit it out of the window and stuff. So the streets sometimes are just stained like a bloody red. It's
Hmm.
really really weird. But the gangsters are cool. They if we ever go to the bar or something and I meet one, they're always just like trying to make friends with us and stuff. And I'm always like, this is really cool. Like I might have a powerful friend. And then I'm thinking like, if I say the wrong thing, this guy might break my fucking kneecaps. You know, you have to be
Oh, yeah.
careful. Especially when you're drinking, like you're joking around. If that joke goes too far, you say something bad about his wife or something, and then you next thing you know, the next day you're picking up your teeth.
Yeah. Well, do you ever go to bars by yourself?
Not usually. I don't know. I
Good.
usually don't go out to drink very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just had this.
Especially here, it's super awkward if you're just drinking by yourself as a foreigner. Like no one will talk to you usually, or everyone will try to talk to you, and it's really awkward.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, kind of like the, like, when, when Indiana Jones goes to that village in Temple of Doom. Never mind.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. I'm basically Indiana Jones.
uh, um, no, I just remembered, like, when I first moved to this neighborhood that I live in now,
Mm-hmm.
I had a night where I got real drunk by myself and wound up going to a bar. And
Uh-huh.
all I remember is it was just a bar where there wasn't a lot of white people. Like, maybe I
Mm-hmm.
was one. And in my drunk brain, I was just sweet, I'm gonna make some friends. And uh, I don't, I don't remember the time, like, from getting in there, uh, you know, throughout that whole night, but I do remember
Uh-huh.
ending by just like a black guy telling me dude, you need to get the fuck out of here.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It's
So I don't.
it's not a good way to leave a bar.
No, not at all. But I think, I don't know. I'm just like a real friendly,
Mm-hmm.
friendly typically. I've never been one
Yeah.
to get aggressive or mean.
Yeah.
Um and yeah, I probably had just worn out my welcome. But
Yeah. They just maybe yeah they're just trying to be too friendly. I don't know.
yeah,
There's some people that don't want to deal with that.
we'll never know.
Yeah. Or see that's the thing. I think if anyone's ever gonna get drunk, you should always just wear a body cam, so you can figure out you can analyze what happened the next day.
Yeah. Um, I that would probably be, you know, therapeutic, and that might have helped me arrive at the fact that I need to be sober, sooner, but
Yeah. Are so g talking about that a little bit. Are you trying to just now be sober for life, or are you okay with drinking now and again, or is it I'm gonna be clean for a year and then see what happens, or do you not? Or you just I'm gonna be
um,
sober for now and see what happens.
so it started out like I was just like, I want to see if I can do it,
Uh huh.
just and I don't know, over time, just thinking about it and just reflecting all the dumb things I've said and how embarrassed I've been the next
Uh
day.
huh.
How many times I've had to call into work, just stuff like that. Uh, I
Yeah.
think I think the answer's obvious. Like I, since it wasn't that hard for me to quit drinking, like I'm
Mm.
fine now. I can go out with my friends while they're doing that, and I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think it's pretty clear that that's the best thing for me, and it's not like I'm getting the shakes or anything like that.